No matter if we're talking about some of the best teams or some of the worst teams in the league, mostly every team has 3 top guys that are clearly their best players and that they can rely on every night. And we're going to be looking at all of them and ranking the best big 3 from every NBA team. Now, whether you're one of the people that loves these kinds of videos or someone that gets real upset about where some of these players get ranked, either way, don't forget to comment your thoughts and let me know your opinion after the video, and let's get into it. Number 30, the Hawks with Taurean Prince, Trae Young, and Kent Bazemore. Right now the Hawks are rebuilding, and they have a lot of great young guys, but they haven't had any one guy that has really looked like he's gonna break out as the real star. They still got time for that to change though, because they're looking like they're gonna be one of the worst teams in the league again this season. On the bright side though, they're gonna get to draft another young player next year. 29, the Nets with D'Angelo Russell, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Jarrett Allen. The Nets are in a similar situation to the Hawks, but they have had a few guys that have looked like they're gonna become future stars. D'Angelo's been the most talked about to have a breakout season any time now, and it helps that he's still only 22. But all I'm saying is he better step it up with Spencer Dinwiddie looking like he's coming for that starting spot. 28, the Cavs with Kevin Love. I'm not even sure who to give the other spots to. We'll give one to Colin Sexton because there's high hopes for him, and Jordan Clarkson, maybe. 27, the Kings with Marvin Bagley, Buddy Hield, and De'Aaron Fox. These 3 guys all give the Kings one of the big 3s with the most potential for them to all be stars down the line. But with the Kings being the Kings, I wouldn't be surprised if they find some way to mess things up pretty soon. 26, the Magic with Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, and Evan Fournier. Fournier isn't great on defense, but he can be a scoring machine when he wants to, and then Gordon and Vucevic are a solid front court for Orlando. Aaron Gordon's been improving every year, so I expect to see that this year as the season goes on, but not so much the same for Vucevic because he hasn't shown much improvement in the past couple of years. So he better watch out for Mo Bamba coming for his starting spot. 25, the Clippers with Tobias Harris, Lou Williams, and Danilo Gallinari. Not too much to say here. These 3 guys can all easily get you 20 points a night, and without a doubt will be the leaders on the Clippers the entire season, but they still aren't going to end up anywhere near the playoffs or anything like that. 24, the Hornets with Kimble Walker, Nicolas Batum, and Jeremy Lamb. This big 3 isn't anything special either. Kimba's going to be an all-star, Batum's a good all-around player, but nothing great, and then there's Jeremy Lamb. I wanted to rank the Hornets higher just for the sake of Kimba, but he just needs more help. 23, the Knicks with Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Enes Kanter. Hardaway and Kanter have started out the season strong so far. I don't expect Kanter to keep up the pace of putting up 20 and 10 every night, but I do expect this year to be a breakout season for Hardaway Jr. And even though Porzingis is out for possibly the entire season, I wouldn't pick anyone else from the Knicks to put in their big 3 over him. 22, the Mavericks with Harrison Barnes, Luka Doncic, and DeAndre Jordan. Alright, anytime I've mentioned Harrison Barnes as one of the top Mavs players over Dennis Smith Jr., I've been roasted. Maybe this season he'll prove me wrong, but as of right now, Barnes is just the better overall player. This Mavs team as a whole has a real bright future with all of their young talent right now. But as for their big 3, they've got a good mix of 2 solid young offensive players and then the former defensive player of the year. Not the worst, not the best. 21, the Bulls with Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Jabari Parker. These 3 guys have been facing a lot of injuries recently, but if they can all stay healthy, Chicago's got a lot to look forward to. They're all under 24 years old, athletic, they can all shoot the ball, and I think any one of them could have a breakout season this year. Number 20, the Miami Heat with Hassan Whiteside, Goran Dragic, and Josh Richardson. The Heat have come out looking pretty good so far this season, and while Dwayne Wade's still on the team, he hasn't been as effective as these 3 guys. Dragic has been the clear leader of Miami's offense on the court, Richardson's come out playing great so far, and Whiteside's still not wowing anyone, but he's done a solid job in the paint. 19, the Suns with Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Trevor Ariza. Compared to last season, the Suns' whole team in general, and more specifically their big 3, has seen some major improvements, which has landed Josh Jackson right outside of the big 3 because there's not too much to argue against these guys. Devin Booker's a scoring machine as always, DeAndre Ayton's my pick for Rookie of the Year, and Trevor Ariza was a great offseason move by the Suns. 18, the Grizzlies with Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, and Jaren Jackson Jr. We know what we're going to get out of Conley and Gasol, but Triple J's future is something to look forward to. 17. The Pistons with Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, and Reggie Jackson. The Pistons have one of the best front courts in the league, so the weaker point of this big three is Reggie Jackson. But he is still a solid point guard. And these three guys are really the only hope for Detroit right now because the rest of the roster could use some work. 16. The Pacers with Victor Oladipo, Tyreke Evans, and Miles Turner. Oladipo is going to continue to be an all-star this year, but I have no idea why the Pacers are starting Darren Collison over Tyreke Evans. He should definitely be their starting point guard, which would give the Pacers a great backcourt, to combine with a solid center down low in Miles Turner. The man had big expectations for a while, but so far he hasn't really lived up to them, but he still does have a long time to do that. Number 15, the Nuggets with Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Paul Millsap. With all these young guys on the Nuggets right now, it looks like they're going to be one of the best teams in the league in a few years. But as for their big three, Millsap can lock things down on defense, Jokic can really do anything on the court, and Murray's got everything you'd need to be a top guard in the league one day. 14, the Spurs with LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, and Pau Gasol. Aldridge is one of the top power forwards in the league, DeRozan is one of the top shooting guards in the league, and then there's Gasol. 13, the Portland Trailblazers with Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and Yusuf Nurkic. There's no debate here. These guys are two strong guards and Nurkic is a solid big man. But he is going to need to step it up if the Blazers want to make any noise in the playoffs. Or, the team could finally find a good trade for McCollum to switch things up for him. Number 12, the Wizards with John Wall, Dwight Howard, and Bradley Beal. Even though Dwight Howard isn't the greatest center anymore, he's going to do everything that the Wizards are going to want out of him. And either way, we can expect the Wizards to be a lot better this year because he was a huge upgrade from Gortat. And I think Wall, Beal, and Dwight are going to fit great together and give them a great big three. Number 11, the Milwaukee Bucks with Yanis, Eric Bledsoe, and Chris Middleton. These three guys make up a great big three, but they do lack in three-point shooting, and Bledsoe lacks in consistency. Besides that though, I think Yanis and Chris Middleton are going to have the best seasons of their career this year, and I would rank these guys higher if they didn't always finish with an average regular season record, and if they were able to do more in the playoffs. Number 10, the Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, and Rudy Gobert. There's no denying that these guys are Utah's top three. Gobert is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Donovan Mitchell's a future superstar, and Joe Ingles is the self-proclaimed best shooter in the league. I mean, if this man's saying he's better than Steph, then he's saying he's the greatest shooter of all time. Now, while I definitely wouldn't go that far, the man is still a great shooter. The past 2 seasons, he shot 44% from 3, which finished top 5 in the league both seasons. Number 9, the Lakers with LeBron, Brandon Ingram, and Kyle Kuzma. I put the Lakers here because of LeBron, and I'm not going to put them any higher because they still don't look like a great team so far. But individually, it does look like it's going to be a big year for these three guys. Ingram and Kuzma look a lot more comfortable on the court playing with LeBron, and come on, LeBron's going to be LeBron. Number 8, the Timberwolves with Jimmy Butler, Karl Anthony Towns, and Andrew Wiggins. Even though they have major problems off the court, on the court these three guys have picked up right where they left off and look just as good as they did last season. And Jimmy Butler is still clearly the best player out of these three, and the man wasn't lying when he said the Wolves need him to win. Number 7, the Pelicans with Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday, and Nikola Mirotic. Even though Julius Randle, Davis, and Mirotic all play the same position, they've surprisingly been making it work. Mirotic is a great compliment to Anthony Davis, but for Randle to take Drew Holiday's spot in this big three, we're gonna have to see him keep up this pace for a while. Either way though, hopefully the Pelicans have finally found themselves a roster that can help take AD deep into the playoffs. Number 6, the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard, Jonas Valanciunas, and Kyle Lowry. The Raptors have definitely upgraded their big three from last year, and we're hoping that's gonna give them a better chance in the playoffs this year. And even though Valanciunas is a big weak point in this big three, Kawhi is a big part in what helps rank the Raptors this high. Number 5, the 76ers with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Robert Covington. Already this season, Embiid and Simmons are looking more dominant than ever before, but they still don't have a clear-cut big three on their team. So for right now, we'll give it to Covington over Saric and Redick because of what he brings on both ends of the court. Number 4, OKC with Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Steven Adams. Surprisingly, after PG-13 decided to stay in OKC, their big three is the same as it was last season. Steven Adams has continued to grow into one of the top centers in the league, and he's just what PG-13 and Westbrook needed to continue to be superstar players. But hopefully these guys can lead the Thunder to further than the first round this time. Number 3, the Celtics, with Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, and Jason Tatum. I mean, to me, these are the 3 clear choices for the Celtics' big 3. But I wouldn't use big 3 with this roster too often, because they have 8 or 9 guys that fill their role perfectly. Number 2, the Rockets, with Clint, Capela, James Harden, and Chris Paul. No, Carmelo Anthony definitely doesn't deserve to be over Clint Capela, because nobody on this list fits better together as a unit than these 3 guys. Nobody thought Harden and Chris Paul would work well together, and Capela wouldn't be nearly as good as he is now without James Harden and the Rockets. They're all the perfect fit, and these 3 are the main reason the Rockets have a great chance at making it to the finals this season. Number 1, the Warriors, Curry, Clay, Durant. Oh, a video about a big 3? No, it's fine, they just have a big 6. And yeah, the Warriors have and will be the league's best big 3 for a while now. But that wraps up this video. Like I said, don't forget to comment your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.